All right, for those of you who are ready to go, we'll start our guided visualization. So you can get comfortable with both of your feet onto the floor. What's that? The chairs are not comfortable. I guess when you're sitting in them all day, not so good, hey? So you'll try to get as comfortable as you can in your chair. The key to meditation is to find some rooting and grounding, and so if you can allow the feet to be as firm as you can, drawing right underneath the knees so that they're not out in front of you or too far close to you. Feeling like you settle a little bit more into the back of the sit bones rather than sitting completely upright. You've got almost like you're leaning, and put some of your weight into the back of the chair. Bring your hands up onto the thighs in a very relaxed position where you have maybe one palm resting on the other so that the elbows are very soft. You're not holding them out to the side at all. No muscle strength really needs to be used in this meditation. If you see monks meditating, they always actually are very rounded and very curled. And so slowly starting to allow your eyes to start to close. And as we pause here for a couple of breaths, just giving yourself again the opportunity to be present in this room by focusing a little bit more on what it feels like to simply be breathing. And again, it's not shifting and changing the breath so much, but it is just a realization of how you do breathe. And so it becomes less of a passive effort and more of an active effort. That you consciously start to become aware of how your breathing moves in and out of your body. As you breathe in such a way, we move maybe to a samavriti if that feels good for you, giving the inhales and exhales the same equality, the same length, and the same depth. We want to try to gently coax the breath down as you inhale, bringing it into maybe to start the belly, and then you draw it back up on the exhale. And every time that you take that inhale a little bit further, you're going to go deeper with the breath. So we're not belly breathing in meditation. You're going to go longer. You're going to go wider. You're going to go down into the depths of the root of who you are, which is the pelvic floor. That is where we've all come from. And so the inhale gently draws in through the nostrils as if you're pouring water into a glass. We go from the base up. Your body is the vessel by which air starts to expand and make you feel as if you're quite open, expansive, ready for possibility. And as you exhale like a tube of toothpaste, you're squeezing from the bottom up, ridding of toxicity, going from perineum, belly, rib cage, heart, collarbones, throat, and releasing everything out that you don't need. And when you exhale fully, you are able to then find space again. And we don't necessarily want to fill it up completely, but with the inhale, you now have space. You can inhale to your fullest maximum capacity, opening up the body, diving it down into the depths. And as we start to feel the breath move in and out of the body, we become aware of energy. The energy rides your breath as if your breath is the vehicle that moves the energy around. So as you inhale in its most simplicity, you fill up and you can feel from the base of your pelvic floor to the crown of your head slowly. You open to the possibility of energy rising to the third eye, which is based behind the eyebrows. And then you exhale and the energy slides down from the head to the throat, to the heart, to the belly, and into the base. And as air moves in and out, your energy is moving up and down. Inhaling energy rises, filling you up, almost seeing a slight luminescence behind the third eye gazing, so your eyes are closed, but you're looking up. And as you exhale, you can feel the energy washing your spine, working its way down into the pelvic floor. And you gently house your belly button and your perineum. You hold it gently so that it's almost like you are having this beautiful, precious pearl that's being drawn down into the base, this gift. And as you inhale again, the energy rises. And so you're using your Samavriti, the basic breathing technique of simply allowing the inhales to be to a count of 4 or 5. And the exhales to be the same count. You're creating a vibrancy, an opening, an awareness, and you're releasing, you're consciously letting go of those things that are sitting inside of you that are possibly not allowing you to reach the full potential that you know is down deep inside of you. And so as you breathe, we'll transport you to a place that feels comfortable near a water's edge. I'd like you to think possibly about a park setting that feels quite at home for you. Maybe it's a combination of a few places you've visited in the past. But let it be a place where there is a river that has flowing water. And so before you move to the water's edge, I'd like you to simply just see the surrounding area that you're in. I'd like you to notice if there's trees around you and what those look like. What the ground feels like beneath your feet. As you walk on the pebbles or on the grass, are you wearing bare feet or do you have sandals or flip-flops that you like to wear? Does it have some sensation on your feet, almost like massaging them? As you place one foot in front of the other, do you feel grounded? As you look around, can you see the banks of the river coming up around you, not so that it's claustrophobic, but that you're simply aware of where you are in time and space, knowing that you've come down into something. And as you look up, you can see the blue sky, maybe some clouds in the sky, and start to notice if there's any animals or birds that are surrounding you in a peaceful way. Giving you this contentment, you look up and you see and you can feel the sun in your face. God, it feels good. There's a contentment in your heart and an awareness in your soul. There's also something nagging you. There is something in the depths of you that is causing you to feel like you are still not able to quite release. And maybe that's a person in your life, a situation that you're moving through, an unsureness about yourself and your talents and your skills, maybe self-esteem, maybe negativity. Whatever it is for you, I'd like you to slowly start to walk towards the river. And as you make your way slowly, you're aware of the way the river is flowing. And it might feel fast or slow depending on what you have going on in your surroundings. You notice that it takes a little bit for you to actually go into the water, so that from where you are, there's a little bit of an edge, and then you need to sort of climb your way gently down, nothing vigorous. You could probably sidestep yourself down into the water, or you could slowly start to hang on to the edge and work your way down. But as you start to move yourself into the water, you do notice that you start to slip, and maybe your shoes are not as effective as you thought they were, so you hang on a little bit. And as you hang on to the edges, you notice that your hands are clawing a bit deeper into the ground. You're aware of the mud possibly starting to accumulate in your hands. There's rocks maybe gently starting to create a sensation in your hands that you know you're grabbing onto soil. You're not scared, you're simply aware that letting go and jumping into the water is not something that you're super comfortable with. It's not something that you're overly wanting to do in this moment. But as you recognize how uncomfortable it is to simply cling onto the riverbank's edge, you make a decision. And as uncomfortable as it might be, you look into the water, it's not deep, and even if you don't swim, you'll be able to find buoyancy right away. You either slide yourself gently into the water, or you take a massive leap. And as you do, immediately you bounce back up to the surface. The water is not flowing aggressively. And there is almost a giggle, a little bit of a laughter. You've let go of some of the soil, you washed it off. And you simply lay on your back and you allow your arms to open up and your feet to open up. And so you're in this star position, cruising down the river's bank. You notice the edges, and you're in the center. And the water feels free. The water feels expansive and open. And as you pause here with the feeling of letting go and releasing, there is nothing left for you to do. You simply get to experience the ride of what it is to be in the flow, of trusting yourself, of honoring where you're at. And so as you pause in this moment, giving yourself a few breaths just to simply acknowledge how good it feels to really allow your body to be where it needs to be without overly clinging, hanging on to, or thinking. The universe has a plan for you. Do you trust it? Just let yourself with the eyes closed for the next couple of moments. Keeping the samavriti, the inhales and the exhales equal. Slowly, as you begin to allow your eyes to flutter open and your breath to remain and move back to its natural state. Your eyes will open and your hands will be drawn into the heart center into Anjali Mudra. Your chin bows to the wisdom that you are. At the end of every one of my classes, to bind you and me, I use the word namaste. And namaste means that the divine light within me recognizes and sees and adores the divine light within each and every one of you. So from my heart to yours, namaste. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Becca, for your knowledge and your dedication and your true passion. And I just, on behalf of the NHPC, would like to thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed your time here with us.
Awesome.